they were still looking like they had the workings of a great team. Now they've kind of subbed in Allorim for their top lane issues when they had Dokla and Zig. They kind of got rid of Lemonation and now have Big in the bot lane. Yep. And so this is kind of the roster for OpTic Gaming that people would assume after the offseason is the one that was going to start and have some power in the top lane, have more shot calling from the bot side of the map, and somebody who can support Arrow really well, and then everybody kind of group up around powerOfEvil.
We'll see. Right now for powerOfEvil, he loses that Zoe, and Akaadian takes a hit from that Nocturne ban. Xin Zhao banned by OpTic's side. Those 2 games that Akaadian was on that pick, they were both purple. So this is OpTic's first blue side of the summer split. We'll see how they play it with that Talia ban being their last one for the first phase.
Which is always interesting to me when a team picks the blue side, especially against Echo Fox, because it means you risk Huni having the counter pick, and Echo Fox with the strategies they've been running where they swap people around. You don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but there's some things that are up right now. Irelia is up, and Allorim will always do this. He will always hover the Wukong, the one trick from before, just to give the shout out.
You gotta feel that confidence. Be like, you know me for this right here. 13 seconds left on the clock as OpTic Gaming will wind this one down. And we have seen a little bit more Lucian play coming through, and it will once again be on the Rift. Altec played this in week 1.
Yeah, something about Lucian is he was banned constantly, but there was a nerf to the Essence Reaver for Lucian in particular because it doesn't last as long. It gives you more attack speed, so people who don't have as much basic attack slinging in terms of just quick attack speed, it means it's better for them, or if they have longer cooldowns. So now Lucian takes a little bit of a hit there, but there's a lot that's up. I talked about the Irelia, which I think is so good. It's flexible. You can even make Irelia a jungler if you run a funnel strategy, and she's not typically a jungler. And so I want to see what else Echo Fox do here, because flex picks seem to be king for this team, where they get to their 4th pick and they don't even know who's playing what just yet, and then they swap stuff around.
FlyQuest very good at doing that as well, and those teams that can flex champion selects are loving the current meta that is for League of Legends. And then Shen and Irelia going in, so we know you have a little bit of charge, but a dive buddy along with that charge if that does go to the hands of Fenix. Akaadian and powerOfEvil now to select. It looks like they're going to grab some support, not try to show too much of their hand here in the first phase. One last pick might just be powerOfEvil's mid.
And something that's interesting is last week when OpTic talked about, banning the wrong champion, they had banned the Irelia instead of the Shen, and now Echo Fox has both of those champions that OpTic had kind of gone between in their bans before, and so that signals to me that this is going to be something where there's a global going around that might throw OpTic off, and if a Shen is able to disrupt the game again, it might be a champion that's a bit of a kryptonite to this team, but we'll see what happens, especially now that Ornn has been locked in, because Braum is still up, Yasuo's taken away, so there's no win wall, and Braum would kind of be what you would think comes out here. But Echo Fox are just going to grab more flexes.
The Vlad, you're talking about all that global pressure. Braum still, Gangplank rather, still on the list. Huni plays that a bit, but we see the Vladimir get locked in. And where do the bans go here for Echo Fox? They say, we almost got that mid pick coming in, so let's hit powerOfEvil maybe. See if we can take away from that. But again, towards Akaadian.
Yeah, whenever Akaadian plays against Dardoch, it's always a match that they really, really love to play. They're both aggressive junglers that burst onto the scene about the same time, Akaadian a little bit after Dardoch did, and they were very close. It was kind of that cluster of like Moon, Dardoch, and Akaadian, the 3 guys who popped up at the same time in a Challenger back in the day. But I talked to Akaadian before, and he was really excited for this matchup. He always loves playing against Dardoch, and we're throwing some bans here at both the junglers from both sides.
Yep. Start really dwindling down their options. Nero talking with the team. What do you want to ban? One last.
I feel like Nero is just like he has to be a pro director here. And like that face right there, like, what did you want to play? What did you want to ban?
Seriously?
That reminds me of that one gif where the guy is shocked. What?
Just wide mouth. Syndra is going to be that ban. So they do say powerOfEvil takes one more hit. If he wants the Orianna that he hovered earlier, though, it can be his. One last ban here from OpTic.
Yeah, you can see how much Inero is talking and like listening and taking in from the team there, because he has to really direct people. When you have flex picks and they're going in different areas and they can potentially go somewhere else, and people are saying, if he picks this, I'll pick this.
Does he have a wood bow tie on?
Yes,
That's
he does.
Amazing.
Yes, he does.
I love it. And that Rise ban. Fantastic. Pick that up the hands of Phoenix. Sejuani getting locked in. A few changes to her, but still finding a little bit of time on the Rift.
So Sejuani, I actually talked to Blabberfish a lot about this. He's the Cloud9 Academy jungler. There's multiple things you can do with Sejuani now. Sejuani is very good at clearing the jungle again because her permafrost has no cooldown on it against camps. You can go ahead and constantly just shove in. And I think, oh
my word.
Arrow. I don't know if that, I don't think that's going to be his, but this is most likely going to be a funnel strategy. This is going to be a Kai'Sa potentially in the jungle. It's who's going to play it though is the question. I'll talk about Sejuani more in the game though, because there's like an AP Runic Echoes build. There's a lot you can do with her. But look at this. Who is going where for Echo Fox? Vladimir, I assume, is going on the bottom lane role. Fenix on the Karthus. Remember, Huni even said, if there's a Karthus in the game, it's going to Fenix. I think Huni... Yeah, top lane Irelia, jungle Sejuani, mid lane for the Karthus, and then bot lane for the Vladimir is what I assume comes out here. For OpTic...
Top lane Irelia, but does Huni run around and funnel everything to himself? He's running Smite still.
I don't know. He's got Smite still.
Can always change, but nobody else is actually running the Smite at this point in time.
He's... Oh my god.
Yes, exactly. I wanted to draw your attention to that. powerOfEvil stays on Kai'Sa. Those are locked. 20 seconds left, and the champions stay where they are. The summoner spells for each champion can continue to change. But right now, the players know where, supposedly where they will be going. You see, Arrow is just dancing in his seat right now. He can't stop moving. He is ready for this game, and we're about to get on to the Rift for OpTic versus Echo Fox. As we're already into week 2 of the split. Are we done yet? Is week 9 here?
No, I don't want this to be done yet.
We're going so fast. Let's do it. We got third game of the day. And we're going to see if Echo Fox can keep this going. A 3-0 start for them, or does OpTic kind of murky the waters there?
Well, I mean, if OpTic goes 3-0 at the start, they end up being in sole possession of first place at the start of week 2, because TSM just dropped, and they were the other 2-0 team. If Fox take it here, they are 3-0, and they're number 1.
Look at that. I hope those signs are hung well. They look like they could fall. Fantastic. We are on to the Rift, and it is OpTic versus Echo Fox. These compositions right now trying to feed powerOfEvil in the mid lane on this Kai'Sa is what we think we're going to see as he stays there. He can obviously get to both sides of the jungle very quick, but also to the short lane to recap on the minions once they spawn in. He'll be up against Phoenix's Karthus, maybe, as we see Huni here in the mid lane.
I think
Karthus on the top side.
I think this is what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is it's going to be the Vladimir bottom lane with the Shen. Fenix is going to play top lane Karthus. It's going to be Huni getting funneled all the farm from Dardoch. Now, Sejuani, the changes to her are actually pretty big. Her wave clear is much better now because she actually can permafrost cannon minions. And her W mana cost went down and got an AP ratio. So the AP ratio, we'll shove that off to the side for now because it doesn't matter. But the cooldown, or sorry, the mana cost of the W matters a lot. Means that you don't have to be a jungler to play Sejuani. I saw Bjergsen playing it solo queue in mid lane. I've seen multiple people like Febevin, Fly, all across the world play it there. And so now Dardoch is going to go around, prepare camps with permafrost, constantly stack them up. And remember, permafrost now has no cooldown on camps. If you do it with a melee jungler, you stack to 4, stun, stack to 4, stun, stack to 4, stun very quickly, and then the wave clear comes through. This is Echo Fox throwing a loop towards OpTic.
And OpTic might try to do a little thing of their own. 2 smites running in. Akaadian still keeps one for himself. powerOfEvil has one, so late game or any objective control can be smited away in their favor if they have those up in time. So little mind games could be played here as we enter into the mid game.
And this is going to be so interesting, especially if you've only been watching North America. This is the first time we're seeing the funnel strategy in NA. It's happened all across the world, but this is the first time we're seeing it. And it's 2 funnel strategies against each other. powerOfEvil on the Kai'Sa, and then,
flawless duet, but no real engage there. They're just pressuring with the red buff tag since they brought it both to mid.
Yeah, and then it comes down to who can wave clear. They're fighting for power. It's semi-non-interactive, where you just want to clear the waves, get to your other side of the jungle, and if you can keep them there and delay wave clear, then you end up in a much better spot as the team that pushed them out, and you can clear other camps. So.
It's interesting because it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement of turret pushing. You push and back off. Here, it's we need to push. We might be able to fight, but it's better for us to push. We'll be stronger to get back kind of thing. It's almost like another gentleman's agreement as they go back and forth. You see little love taps back and forth, but everybody's pretty healthy.
And here's kind of the thing where Arrow has priority bottom because he's the marksman, he's got the range and consistent damage early. That allowed Big to go into the jungle and ward it up. So because of the pressure bottom lane, it's transitioned into the jungle there, and now there's kind of duo lane mid, but you want to get these camps down, because the sooner you get the camps down, the sooner they respawn, they'll be higher level, there's more experience coming through, and you really just want to be able to farm the jungle. But now we're seeing two funnel strats versus each other, and it's almost like just duo mid until somebody gets enough of a priority over the other.
Both teams running that funnel strat, both teams with a new player on each side. Fox Fung on support, Allorim on that top side for OpTic here, as we still get a little pressure towards mid. And we see that 23 to 24 in CS as you kind of have to go diagonal, but it's Kai'Sa to Irelia at that point.
And this right here, they're going to the Scuttle Crab and then over to the blue buff while the minions fight each other in mid. It's more important to get these camps down than to fight over another wave there, especially when the other team isn't there. But it does seem like because they went Scuttle Crab to blue, it's going to be a faster return to mid lane for OpTic.
They are pushing.
Yeah, see, they wanted to do another camp, but it's because it's getting shoved in. They have to go answer it.
Huni throw the flawless duet over to Gromp. Doesn't seem like they'll lose too much as they cut it off at that 70% mark. Here to clean. How much do they have to push, though? Who kind of has the better fight if you get, I wouldn't say the long lane or the longer part of the lane. You can see OpTic kind of respecting that, and they back off knowing they were pushed up, clean some camps, and get that scuttle up in the top river.
Yeah. If it gets into a fight, I definitely favor the Nunu giving the movement speed and combat stats of attack speed to the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, the steroids are always nice.
I think powerOfEvil and Akaadian would typically win it, but there's only really one damage source from OpTic in that 2v2 as powerOfEvil. But kind of reaching somebody, I think movement speed is underappreciated. Being able to reach somebody who's kiting is very difficult to do when she has that extra movement speed and you don't. So when items come through, though, it'll be a bit different. And then they go to the other side, clear it out, and now you can even see Huni's using the W to try and clear waves faster. It's all about the clear speed, getting back to mid, clear speed, getting back to mid, over and over again. And I remember this was, called a funnel strat, but it's because you're making a super version of a champion, right? You have the Sejuani with 7 CS, you have the Nunu taking almost nothing as well, with 3 for himself, and you're trying to make a super Irelia and a super Kai'Sa here. And it's fitting because it's a super powerOfEvil versus super Huni. And these are two stars of their team, two people that there's always criticism when they don't play around them. Why didn't you play around this guy more? I don't think you could really play more around a champion like this than doing this strategy where you give them 2 people's worth of resources.
It's true. And the play style of kind of being able to capitalize on those events outweighs the low lows that they sometimes get. Those high highs are amazing because we've seen Huni go crazy before, get himself into trouble, but it's still always able to go back to this guy here in the mid lane. Now they're fighting a little bit closer onto the turret. Shots on powerOfEvil as Dardoch takes a field for himself. When he gets in, he's gonna go down as he almost defies a bit of the damage, but powerOfEvil gets the retribution kill for himself, almost able to follow forward, but cannot get supercharged to make that close.
Yeah, he went really hard for that, and then he hit level 6 and threw out the ultimate. Wasn't able to quite get another reset on
high highs and low lows.
He got the kill, though. He got the kill, but first blood, gets a Tiamat. We'll see what happens here. Dardoch goes in. Not able to get the stun here on Akaadian. Akaadian's dodge is huge, because then they have to focus powerOfEvil. Huni's W comes out. They get the final hit there, but it's the final stack of the passive from Dardoch after the flash had come through from Akaadian. So he was under the turret, and that forced Huni to go really hard in. But look at that. His first back is Sheen plus Tiamat. If you're looking at Irelia clear speed, that's what's going to get you that clear speed. Every Q makes the Tiamat go off, and so you clear the caster minion so fast.
Beautiful. 68 to 69, you can see matched up on the screen. The CS between those two carries, those two supers right now for both teams. They're really going to have to put a mark onto this game. Huni wanted it. powerOfEvil was able to get something back right away, which spells good things for those two.
Yeah, and you can see Phoenix semi-freezing the wave, forcing Allorim to walk forward. And there we go. Scuttle Crab on spawn, too, there for Huni. When Dardoch hits 6, you have to watch out, especially as powerOfEvil and Akaadian. The level 6 power spike for the Sejuani, throwing out the ultimate, means so much in these fights. Long-range engage that you have to respect.
Altec just teleporting right in the face of Big. He knows he can't do much. Big abides. Says, all right, we'll back out. Nobody's getting on the Mountain Drake right now. However, that could definitely pull some focus in the early game. It looks like mid lane, even though matched up, they've spread out. There's some jungle camps to clear. Let's get those off the map. Then we're back to the mid lane.
Yeah, and another thing to temper this is I actually think they're going to fight as soon as they hit 6 here in mid, or maybe even earlier. Look at that.
If they can get a KD before 6, those are knockdowns. The permafrost, the flawless duet, and everything coming down with the CC flashing from Dardoch to solidify that one.
Yeah, and
for Huni.
They want to fight mid because you want to shut down the funnel strat of the other team. And I actually think Fox are in a better position because of their item spikes. It's very good to have both the Tiamat and the Sheen. And you didn't even have to kill Akaadian there. You just had to get him low enough that Fenix can contribute with the ultimate. Sometimes you forget about the Karthus on the enemy team, and then then he brings in, you know, the orbital ion cannon.
Great, too, that they took Shen for Feng. They take away that shield. Obviously, no Soraka on the other side, so you're not denying that Requiem. But here is the play in mid again, right before Akaadian is hitting that level 6.
They know he doesn't have flash, and so Huni with the Qs constantly throughout the wave with the Sheen and the Tiamat with the resets means that he can close that distance so quickly. Now Dardoch has hit 6. powerOfEvil and Akaadian still both don't have flash. It's much harder to say than I thought it would be. But they both don't have flash, so as soon as they show up mid and contest a wave, there's a possibility of being engaged on from Huni and Dardoch.
Eyes on Allorim for a moment, not too shabby, but also not too much love from the junglers or any other pressure towards the top side. He's doing well at 80 to 78 against Fenix on that Karthus. Still waiting to see. He's teleported back to lane, and those teleports will be up soon for the top laners. We might see a play coming through.
And I just thought of kind of the irony of the situation where, you know, people always say that Huni, he really knows how to play with his jungler, or play around his jungler when he's playing the top lane. It's like having the jungler in the lane.
Or play jungler.
You don't know how often he's going to be there. The jungler's going to play to him. Literally, they're holding hands. He's holding hands with the jungler in this game. I don't think you could be safe. Closer to Huni in this game. I think this will throw jungle proximity stats off a bit.
Nice tags.
100% jungle proximity for Dardoch and Huni.
All the stats out the door. Bot side, powerOfEvil, he is blood boiled, tag on, no supercharge, killer instinct to follow onto Altec.
Yeah, but they're getting so much experience here. That's one of the big parts of the funnel strat is you're getting so much gold. They're already, for in Huni's case, 35 above the 10 CS per minute mark, and he's level 9 when most people are still level 6 or 7 junglers and bot laners. So you're ahead of the curve. They're both ahead of the curve in terms of the carries. And we're even seeing a Rage Blade at 10 minutes, pre-10 minutes for powerOfEvil. So the first item completion for him, but Huni wants to get a power spike and back. See how much gold he actually has here, because the Trinity Force, he shouldn't be too far off from it. Yeah, he's actually very close to having the Trinity Force completed here. He has 2,100 gold in his inventory. So it means like 900-ish more.
Is he back? Okay, he's back to mid. He's hiding under Dardoch. He couldn't find anybody.
Oh, actually, no, he got it.
Hits onto Fenix. Allorim, very, very healthy under the turret. Fort got called up. Misses the knockup, but everybody is just standing there. Locks it down. Killer instinct is in. powerOfEvil. Oh, here comes the ultimate from Shen. Fenix is still alive. What a thwart. Fun coming up huge on the play as the sub support.
And he
still wants it. Flashes in. They say Requiem is down. Oh. They get the kill. The kill onto powerOfEvil. And that's a kill coming in for for OpTic Echo Fox. Big plays.
That was huge. They killed the funnel strat, PoE, and they got to defend the top lane. They didn't kill Fenix. Echo Fox get so much out of that. And yeah, Huni completed his Trinity Force there earlier. He was the one who had 2,700 gold. My apologies, he was in the top lane on my screen. So yeah, he had 2,700, not the 2,100, but he goes back, he gets the Trinity Force, huge power spike for him. And then they try to dive. They try to dive off the back timer from Huni because they knew he wanted to go back. They knew he had so much gold because he was sitting on Tiamat Sheen. That was the time for OpTic to strike, but Feng coming up huge and Fenix with the defense there.
Huni very low, flashes out. They're just gonna try to focus onto him. Do they step too far forward though? Arrow with a few shots as the blast cone is used. But even with that kill, OpTic still trying to fight for their objectives and camps inside the jungle. I'm saying, yeah, we took a hit top lane, but that was an outplay if you've ever seen one.
Yeah, you can see
you can't stop just because of that.
Huni and Dardoch inside the base. They want to rotate off that. Good from powerOfEvil to go in off of that, but he gets slowed. He wants to get out. He's got the turret aggro, and the shield is what kind of juked him there. He went in, went for that last shot, but the shield came up, and so he doesn't finish it. Perfect from Feng to ward over then go for the taunt flash, and that's right as Fenix had the mana to use his ultimate. But they're going for another dive. They know he doesn't have flash, he doesn't have stopwatch.
Oh.
This one is one that they think should hit true, and especially with the red buff.
Rinse and repeat. Killer Instinct is in. Akaadian Rain comes down. And there's a hit everywhere coming in from that one. Even a little bit of love from Allorim in the end as now they start to push down on this top turret.
And you can see PoE, they just finish off the kill. They give him all the top lane farm. And now Allorim TP's mid. Big is actually going to show up mid too.
Watch out for that Abyssal Voyage. I think anybody else is coming out of it. Just for defense as OpTic takes down that top side. See the Blood Boil helping powerOfEvil and Akaadian do so much damage and take these down faster than usual. And now they can start to move Echo Fox around the map, maybe the way they want.
Yeah, there's still no dragon taken on the bottom side, and their turret on bottom is alone with the Vladimir and Shen. So I don't know the HP on that one right now. Huni goes in, potentially. They're outnumbered.
I think he went in just to dive and say, we're okay if we try to do something. If he spits him out, they could be able to get the kill onto Arrow. He instantly uses that stopwatch he's been holding on to, and they capitalize on one of Huni's lows.
Yeah, Huni went in with almost no mana there. Doesn't have enough to throw off the ultimate to really combo anything together. And so right now, Echo Fox, they've kind of thrown a bit of the game. OpTic now get the Rift Herald.
Yeah.
They ended up losing that bottom turret and evening up the turrets, but that was first turret going over to powerOfEvil and Akaadian, and PoE's about to hit some big power spikes here.
Crazy, we'll see it again. So it looks like it was just gonna be a clear, I'm okay, and then he finds himself knocked up by Allorim.
That was perfect from Allorim. Allorim used the Bellows Breath, got for the slow, and then the Brittle, threw out the Q for the slow, headbutted into it, and it hit Huni. Basically everything connected there from the Ornn, which it looked like Huni thought he was gonna be able to take the CS in Allorim's face.
Disrespect.
Exactly. That's one where you're like, you're not gonna do anything. Back up as I take this right in your face. And he didn't. Allorim wasn't gonna stand for that. He's like, no, we're sparring partners. We have to spar.
I'll call you on that. Yeah, exactly, right? He knows exactly what's going through Huni's head. We mentioned that in the pregame. These guys used to play as sparring partners, practice partners on that Echo Fox Academy and Echo Fox team. Now pushing into mid, Echo Fox trying to grab a little bit more ground, but you can still see they're backing off. They don't control any of these wards. Mid is surrounded by OpTic's vision.
And the big thing here is the item spikes coming in for powerOfEvil. He has Rage Blade, plus Zerker Greaves, plus the Stinger, so he already has the Supercharge evolution. And in this build, you max Q, then W, so your E is the last thing that's maxed, but it's the first thing that you get the evolution for the invisibility, because when somebody is focusing down a hyper carry that wants to stand there and do a lot of damage and maneuver a fight, almost like a Kog'Maw, right? But what if you're trying to kill the Kog'Maw and it can stealth every now and then? It makes it so much harder to kill that carry. And so you really want that when you're being funneled into.
Ooh, what a nice little mind game. Arrow stays top, uses the teleport, but cancels, and what would have been a 5-man Echo Fox pinch onto that mid lane turret.
So for Echo Fox now, they have 2 global ultimates with both Fenix and Feng, and then Huni, Dardoch are kind of what they're playing around, but Altec also has a TP to show up, so everybody can show up to where Huni and Dardoch are if they start a fight. But right now, it's Altec. I'm really watching his Vladimir in the mid game because he has the Spellbinder, he has the extra movement speed from that when he activates it, but finding your way into a fight as a Vladimir is a very unique skill to Vladimir, where you flank fights, you come in with the W, the E, and try to get the ultimate on as many people as possible. That's not something that people who have played marksman for years usually have as a skill set.
Right.
They're usually the person whose space is being bought for, not a space buyer. And that's what Vladimir is. He's somebody who buys space for the rest of the team.
You gotta ask if it's available for us from your needing carry.
Got to make sure everybody else is like, can you help me out here, defend for me, peel for me? But he's the secondary threat that's supposed to peel other people off of Huni and Fenix.
Akaadian Rain.
Whoa.
A flash.
It's really early flashes.
Yeah, for having a turret there, I would agree with that as well. Having your team to your left. Rift Herald's gonna go down, so it looks like they're gonna try to get the added pressure on the turret. Nice wall to slow the minions so they can just attack Herald. Do they decide to fight though? Teleport comes down, Arrow's gonna call that out. Goes to Ardent Blaze onto Altec. He may be able to get into this fight, but they all start to back off. Tides of Blood would have entered nicely, and that was a big distraction as the turret gets knocked almost down by Shelly.
Yeah, but on the bottom side, Ornn, Allorim alone with the turret for a bit here. May be able to actually take that one down, but
ever so slowly.
Doesn't know where Altec is, doesn't know how many people are coming his way.
Yeah, he's pushing over.
So he backs up, and now he's going to go towards the mid lane, and this might be a fight that OpTic want to opt into after clearing the wave. We'll see, though, because arrows up top, and it's just kind of funneling into everybody. Normally, the Echo Fox games so far have been incredibly bloody, but because of the funnel strat, it's really hit power spikes, get to the point where you're 3-4 levels higher than other carries in the game, and with this massive gold advantage.
You more so know to specifically avoid X fight. It's not like, hey, we're in a group 5v5, now it's 20 minutes, we're mid-game. It's like, no, that Irelia is 3 levels up, or X, not at this point. Just creating scenarios. They want to stay away from Huni, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
powerOfEvil, the same thing though. 2-1 and 0, items coming together. We see the arrow picking up the Executioner's calling, which I actually love seeing now, coming about more with the Mundos and the Vlads. Before it'd be like, it's fine, late game, you'll still be able to tear through them with the Infinity Edge, the X, the this. But I love seeing that to really help in these longer fights. 3-3 coming up just on 20 minutes, which means Baron is a minute and a half away.
Yep.
Oh, who's going to find who? It doesn't look like they want to start too much, but they are going to start jockeying maybe for this first Mountain Drake for those bigger objectives.
Well, like both mid turrets are very close to going down. If you get the mid turret in a funnel strat, it becomes so much easier to get enemy camps, slow them down. And when you start taking their jungle after pushing in, you kind of cut off a bit of the funnel and make it so they don't get as much, and then you just get way further ahead of them because you're taking your own jungle, their jungle, and see, OpTic are going to get that. The bottom turret is almost down as well, and OpTic are holding even here and leaning a lot on PoE in this game.
Looks like they could grab Scuttle and get themselves out of here with the first Mountain Drake on this. Big's going to do a bit of vision work. Scryer's Bloom shows that Fox is not going to contest. So OpTic doing a nice job at setting themselves up for an uncontested dragon to start things off at 19 minutes. But now Vision has to be focused towards that top side. Echo Fox will be more than ready for the next fight. Huni coming out of base. See what their items are. Triforce Titanic. He's looking pretty good. All that vision for Dardoch. I wonder how he's feeling. He's like, I am support Sejuani right now. I am the support.
It's the same thing with Akaadian. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
But they played in
but more so in Nunu, you're like, I'm used to that.
They played in a Tractor's Knife era. But I actually like what Dardoch did where he didn't even go jungle item or smite.
Right.
He went for the Relic Shield and Exhaust, because having an Exhaust in a funnel strat is amazing. You can even see OpTic opt into having Big with an Exhaust. But having the smite for Akaadian is mostly for securing objectives, having a double smite plus the Nunu.
We haven't seen that yet.
Look at that.
Dardoch's gonna be the first one in. He's got a good shield onto him. Forge got his back from Allorim. Altec on the bottom, coming out of his damage. Huni almost down, throws the duet onto Fung to try, or Ford to help Fung. And Allorim now almost getting Fung. Akaadian stays alive, and it does not look like they will try to capitalize on any more as 2 members of Fox go down.
But look at that. OpTic, such low HP bars, but they win the fight. They're up in gold. They have the mid lane turret pressure now. And the question is, can Allorim hold this, not have his turret go down? The answer is yes. So they come out absolutely on top. See this one more time here, because it's the flank from Altec coming in, but then it's the Forge God from Allorim. The slow comes down. The hit into Dardoch with the explosion on top from Akaadian. And then Huni, he's slowed, he's brittle, he has to try and get away here, but they already took so many turret shots onto Dardoch. He drops, and then Huni's the one who picks it up. But look at this, the triple way to get it.
Dardoch's off on the right side, already under 1,000. That's the hit for powerOfEvil. Double smite comes up big, and that's Altec going down. Fung in the eyes of OpTic, but they say that's a huge amount of ground. Let's use Baron, we'll take bot and get a buy-in.
And the reason they went for that is when you are a higher level, your respawn timers are longer. Huni's the one who has smite this game. It's not Dardoch. Huni had a longer death timer. They said, let's go for it. They still had Akaadian, they still had PoE, double smite, plus the consume from the Nunu means they can burst it down for about 2,000 HP.
Think about consume. Is this illegal? Strat, how hard can they smite? They just need a Cho'Gath now.
But it just means as soon as they start getting priority on objectives, they're able to take it. You can see, brings in PoE after going to the base. Look at Huni, he hasn't respawned yet. There's still 5 seconds left on him. So remember, he's the last person to die in the previous fight, and he's level 13. So the respawn timer is longer, and Dardoch doesn't have smite, so him being close is a non-factor. That dropped to 214 still, but it was still, the smite came in from the highest level person on the team, PoE, who's now level 15 at 22 minutes.
They're hiding.
Yeah, but the question is, what's going to make them...
How long are they going to hide?
But the question is, what's going to make them go to the bottom side of the map when they have Baron?
Ah, they left.
I think they're looking for a flank here. You can see Fung trying to look for a flank with the Shen. You see the ward come down.
The thing is difficult for him as well. either like to protect or initiate on that target, because if you hit arrow, you still have powerOfEvil running around like a maniac. If you have powerOfEvil, you have arrow running around free still with big in that support. It's crazy that it's that support AD, and two different kind of pods running back and forth. It makes Echo Fox's choices much more difficult for that initiation.
And now they're losing their jungle, they're losing their top lane wave, and they're basically saying, Altec, he's got to get some farm here and trade these objectives that they're bleeding away. Because Echo Fox can't defend this without a full commitment here. The Kai'Sa is honestly too strong at this point, and he has stopwatch. If you get on PoE, he's going to stopwatch, he has the shield, he has the defense, and they're going for a fight here. OpTic.
Some could call it a force. OpTic, maybe just playing the turret pressure with Baron is enough. And Echo Fox say, if you want the fight, come in closer as they slowly back up. OpTic says, hold on, we'll go for the turret, and it looks like one more time in here. Allorim banging his head against the wall, just try to keep Huni off and at bay. He takes a few turret shots himself, but it looks like it'll take another try if they can stay to take that turret down. Echo Fox looking for a quick heal as they lose that turret and look to guard the inhibitor.
Echo Fox do this all the time. They understand minion wave timing.
Yeah, no, they'll have time. You're right. They'll be back in time.
Fenix goes back, Dardoch goes back. The minion wave is coming up now.
Very nicely done.
And they have been very good at this, but that usually signifies to me that they're going to try to go for broke and know that they have to fight here if they land the right abilities. The Echo Fox don't like to give turrets without a fight.
X-Flash
there they go.
For Fang. He may try to get himself into there with a taunt. Just off on the bottom right side, ignites her up. Whoa! Dardoch goes down without almost doing anything. Huni uses the Zanyas, watching the top left part of the screen. powerOfEvil goes down. Arrow, however, is alive as the Requiem comes down. And Echo Fox is dreaming for a fight victory here. That's the kill going over to Altec. And now Fenix and Fang are trying to keep themselves alive. powerOfEvil, Akaadian are down, but the rest of OpTic stand tall to take down Fox's inhibitor.
And I love what you said earlier, Rip, where once they get PoEs, there's still this AD marksman threat in Arrow on the side. His Lucian with the QSS able to maneuver that fight perfectly. And PoE's the focus. Normally, the AD carries the focus, but they have two of them right now, and one of them is very fed, and that's PoE. So they focus him down. Right now, though, there isn't a way to globally get behind OpTic. They're just pushing them out slowly.
Right.
The inhibitor stays up, and so Echo Fox loses the turret, they lose the fight. But right here was very close. Huni gets in the backline, but watch Altec in this fight too. Altec uses the E ahead of time, but then when he gets in the fight, he's able to come in. Tides of Blood goes down with the W. They blow up Akaadian at the start, very low level. PoE comes out, still eats the damage from the Chemo Plague from Altec, and drops. And then there's not enough here to get through in terms of the damage that's left, because they don't have that persistent damage source from Huni, and Fenix was out of mana on the Karthus, so he basically had 0 DPS at that point.
That is such a long time for Call of the Forge God. It's like over a minute and a half or something, so they were sitting there quite a while, back and forth, trying to get that.
And 66 seconds right now.
Currently, yeah. So just getting another ult on that. I'll have one more as he hits level 16.
Now, AP Kai'Sa, fully online, has the Zhonya's, so if you jump on her, she's got the Zhonya's. I wonder if he'll go for Guardian Angel as well. I've seen some Zhonya's plus Guardian Angel builds on the Kai'Sa funnel strat. On the opposite side, Titanic Hydra completed here for Huni. And remember, this is the patch where Sterix got changed, so it gives the bonus AD instead of the base AD. So it's not multiplied by Trinity Force anymore. So going for Sterix as your third item isn't as potent as it was previously. We'll see where he goes here, because Huni now has the red smite to reduce damage to him, which I really love having the red smite at this point, because when there's two funnel strats going on, smiting the other guy is very much so worth it, because they're usually close to being the sole damage source of the other team.
Find him, reduce a bit for yourself, hopefully be the guy he is actually trying to attack. A few hits of plasma onto Dardoch. Doesn't look like they'll follow through with these. Good damage, though.
Yeah, and remember,
he keeps throwing out that W.
Yeah, remember, when you have the W evolve, whenever you hit, it reduces the cooldown by half. So it's normally an 8-second cooldown. It just goes to 4 seconds every time he lands it.
Just seeking the void with his Void Seeker. Pretty good shots. Also good tag if he wants to get in his Killer Instinct. We saw that a few times earlier as powerOfEvil is trying to make plays towards that top side of the map. And they locked down Fenix. It's been actually a great job of Echo Fox in the early game of absorbing the pressure, but it was really impressive that OpTic never let up. They weren't just happy with that kill or one more. They kept fighting. something that we love to see from teams. Never rest on that advantage. Keep pushing.
Yeah, something that I think is kind of missing here for Echo Fox is the all-in on the funnel strategy, because they don't have a Knight's Vow. They have a Zeke's, but if you look at the opposite side, they already have a Knight's Vow from Allorim. They already have a Mikhail's for Akaadian using that, and then they have the defense of the Zhonya's Hourglass. So you're kind of only missing a Zeke's here, but there isn't really anybody who's incredibly good on OpTic to have a Zeke's Harbinger.
Yeah.
But with Fox, you're kind of looking for where's the Knight's Vow. We already have a Locket. We already have the Zeke's. It's like, just need that next item to come through here for Dardoch so we can get that. It's very cheap still. It's about 2,200 gold.
Interesting. Flawless Duet came out, and Arrow said, I want to go forward. He uses Blade of the Rune King, and that triggered Allorim's Call of the Forge God. The ult from Huni comes out, and it looks like everybody was kind of just prepared to fight for after so long kind of thing, but not. As they said, wait a minute, it's better to hold off for a second.
Yeah.
So with a few ults down, that really changes the tempo of the fight.
It's just Huni's and Allorim, but Allorum's will be up a bit sooner. They're trying to fight, trying to look for the right engage.
Good Devour. Big spits him out.
Huni's trying to get Fung in.
Frost onto a few members. Dardoch goes in. They're trading a lot of Huni's health to make this happen. The channel goes down, an absolute zero big from Akaadian as he gets everybody slowed and put in the right spot. Resurrection coming up for Huni as they have dropped big. He can no longer devour the carries, and now Arrow has to create his own distance. powerOfEvil over the wall. Akaadian rain to come through as Requiem comes down on him and the rest of the members, but they do not have time or space to turn around and take this fight. Echo Fox slowly push out OpTic.
Yeah, and that was by the skin of their teeth. Hold on, though. Phoenix even had the flash, yeah. Huni almost gets burst at the start, and then when he buys space for Phoenix to get in with that Karthus, then it just ends up being a completely different fight. There's a lot of damage that can come through here from 3 members of Fox. We'll see right here. Huni goes in, uses W to absorb some damage, then he gets Fung Shield, wants to deliver the Shen to the backline, gets a lot of damage on him, almost dies. The taunt saves his GA until later, and now Phoenix is in the fight, where Altec almost drops, has Hemoplay go off to heal him back up to half, and then it takes even more to drop him, and then they find this fight on the side, because OpTic just got sectioned off by the way that Phoenix approached it. You want to stay away from that card.
It was so much bigger. We saw that at the base, and Phoenix and I should say Altec couldn't push themselves through. Standing in the middle, powerOfEvil and Arrow have no chance to do their damage. Here it is once again, 2,300. Going to be Akaadians, and the fight ensues. Altec pulls out of the fight. Huni is into the middle, and the rest of the team as well. Fung right behind him as dive buddies go in, and now OpTic tries to peel back. It's Allorim in the front trying to be that tank, the beef wall, just taking all of the shots as the rest of the team delivers in from powerOfEvil and Arrow.
And Kaisa just does so much damage to the Baron. There's no cooldown on her passive, so she's constantly doing the 5 stacks over and over again with the Rage Blade and the attack speed and the Blood Boil. You get through it so quickly, even though she's one of the main damage sources on the team. This is kind of a 2-threat composition. Yeah. Kai'Sa's one of the best at taking the Baron, and then you throw Smite and the fact that you have this Nunu on top of it, it just gets completely obliterated.
Very big fight coming in there as well. OpTic actually just had about every active item come up, so they really pressed themselves into making that happen, saying our Zanyas are down, our Mikhails, our Lockets, our Quicksilver Sashes, but we have to pressure this now and catch Echo Fox off guard. Now those are up, they're even in a better spot to pressure these mid-tier turrets, and it looks like it's going to be all 5. No split pushes here.
Yeah, all 5. I think they really want to give this farm to powerOfEvil. He's very close to having his 5th item, his death cap, at 31 minutes. Have that completed. He's sitting on about 2,000 gold right now with the needlessly large rod.
Half a GA for Huni. He's waiting for that. Flashes are mostly down on the side of Echo Fox, with just 2 flashes down on the side of OpTic, so a little bit more play there. Yep. Echo Fox looking for a way into these fights. Huni throwing out quick, flawless duets.
This W, oh man, look at how much
prison from Dardoch.
The damage that comes out from that Void Seeker for powerOfEvil, and when he hits somebody, it just means it's going to pop up again and over again.
It's basically like having Caitlyn at this point in the game, being able to shoot a squishy with ace in the hole, but anybody with a W. You're like, oh, I hit anybody.
Yeah.
It's great.
See, Huni, it doesn't hit as hard there because he has some magic resistance and he has a Cinder Hulk.
Ooh! Ugh. That'll sting.
Yeah. OpTic have more, like the way I would put it here is OpTic have less damage from multiple sources, and it's kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's more on powerOfEvil and arrows, so it's concentrated damage sources. Whereas Echo Fox have 3 people who are big damage threats, so their damage is spread out. And so you really, as Echo Fox, just need to get to powerOfEvil, find a way to destroy him, and arrow. Whereas Echo Fox have
It's tough.
2 different mages that want to get into the fight and be in this mid-range, whereas they also have this bruiser that's going to be really in charge of tanking some of the damage from this Kai'Sa. The question is, how long can he actually do that? They're looking for the right fight, looking for the right approach. That's what it's all about, is getting into this fight at the right angle.
Oh my word. Someone's going to pull the trigger, I feel it.
Yeah.
They're not even really getting side lane pressure here. A little bit for Altec, he'll be able to clear that wave. This should be the last hit for mid turret to go down. Just watching it so hard as well. If Akaadian throws down absolute zero, you can't really get by him. Call the forward god comes out, pinching him against the wall in the base gate. Huni gets himself back in as they slalom back and forth around the Ornn terrain. Dardoch now in the front line, trying to give room for Fenix, Altec, and Huni. Glacial Prison goes out on Akaadian. He flashes away, but he's the front line. Now he tries to throw it down. Absolute zero again separates the fight. It's happening from both sides. They set, they reset, they keep going in. And again, the damage on the Fenix. There's the shield. And Altec backs up now as they wait once again with no one going down.
And that was great from Allorim. He got a double knockup off of his Searing Charge after having the Q come out. And he was able to catch 2 big targets, getting both Fenix and Huni. And that meant Echo Fox, they may have had to kind of break the bank there to save them, but they're able to get out just by barely sneaking away and having them kind of counter-engage. Now the flash is up for Huni, and Fenix is almost up as well.
Yep. Much stronger in their engage and counter if they need it.
But the Baron buff's off now. So they don't have to worry about that siege. They have their inhibitors intact. OpTic are just going to go for this second Mountain Drake for themselves.
Final Drake.
And now, once again, it comes down to those item spikes. Who's got what here? And I think this is going to be Deathcap coming in for PoE, which is going to do wonders for him, because a lot of these AP ratios are massive on the Kai'Sa.
Here's this fight again. We were kind of wondering what Echo Fox's in was, and they pull the trigger with Glacial.
Yep. And Allorim there. Ooh, boom. And that looked like it was already fading away, but he still got the E.
Bit of a reset. Echo Fox makes a little bit more movement out of their base. A ward very close to their top gate is sitting there for anybody to use from OpTic. Oh, it just went down. I'm a liar. So now with 3 Drakes on their side, the Infernal may be a pressure, but they may not even need to use it. Pushing up in mid, Baron, as you see, has worn off, as we now get Allorim pushing the bot side of the map. First time they've really split off here since they've had big control over Echo Fox.
Waiting for that Knight's Vow here for Dardoch so that he can fully support Huni. That's almost completed.
King him.
Yep. But look at that. The Death Cap comes through for powerOfEvil. The upgraded Death Cap for him. Rabadon's Death Crown, which grants him 175 AP by itself, but then he's getting 200 more from the passive. So that's a 375 AP item. And Nunu gives him AP, remember. So when he's Blood Boiled, he has like 800 AP.
He's got it right now. What's he got? 713.
I'm just looking at the W damage
plus
here.
W.
Yeah, the W damage is like 800 plus. And
we'll
then
feel that at home.
The passive is really large as well. It feeds into the shield AP ratio. And also the Fleet Footwork. When you have that much, you're healing for like 400 whenever you get... Fleet Footwork had its AP ratio buff, right? It was weaker for Marksman overall in terms against minions. But in these fights, he's going to be healing a decent amount when he gets that proc up. We're seeing a lot of funnel Kai'Sa strategies around the world because she's just so dependable in terms of the invisibility, the self-heal with the shield and repositioning.
We see what that funnel is. Easily 100 CS over the next carries kind of at the bottom of that, and the ADs just hitting 300 for the top laners, so definitely a priority put to Huni and powerOfEvil here.
Yeah, but the kind of good thing going for Echo Fox here is you're not building magic resistance on this Kai'Sa. So you have 2 big mages that they're going to get stronger, and the funnel strat gets weaker as time goes on, right? Because as you're more levels and more gold ahead of people, and you hit 6 items, you can't get any stronger than that. So you'll have these carries eventually catch up. And they're going after Fenix.
Killer Instincts. powerOfEvil locks it down, but does not hit his ultimate.
Yeah, you got to be... if you go away from where your carries are, then you're dead. So, or I guess your supports. That's what I mean. The supportive people on your team, they're pretty much dead.
Scuttle taken down. That's Akaadian that's hit up again with the ultimate. Teleport comes in. Fenix is in the fight this time. This is the separation that Echo Fox wanted. They're able to obliterate the first few members of OpTic, but Echo Fox is taking damage, mitigating it perfectly as well as they head for more kills. A double for Fenix as they have been waiting for that play.
Where the hell did PoE go? He ran away. He completely abandoned the fight. Flashed out, he's the main carry. If he's not able to stand there, then there's something wrong with the frontline feeling for him in the position of a fight. But PoE, he is the team of OpTic right now. He's gonna try to come up huge.
Altec, very big heal coming off his Q. Fen tries to get an arrow with the kill. Arrow now kiting backwards. The help of Allorim, and there's powerOfEvil in the fight as well. There's the double kill. Fenix about to go down, or Huni rather, about to go down. Guardian Angel will come up as Altec has made his way out the top of the fight. A few more shots as Arrow flashes forward to secure this one for the team. A very nice try on the Defiance coming in from Huni, with the push down mid lane now from OpTic after a very big fight win at Baron.
And that potentially is game. There's a lot of damage from PoE. They also have the Lucian here too. They're gonna push. These Nexus turrets are not that strong anymore, and Altec is the only one up for 10 more seconds.
OpTic has kept Fox's back against the ropes the entire game. They will take out the last member alive as Fung just about to spawn. They did it. Echo Fox goes down and OpTic take the victory.
Woo! You can see the elation there. Man, the funnel strat paid off. They said, let's make PoE really big. Akaadian has to play the Nunu in the jungle, give him everything, and shows that he could be the selfless player here, and they come up with this win against Echo Fox, doing exactly the same.
All right, boys, OpTic on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely crazy. Gotta feel super good as well for Allorim in the top side. 6-0-7 coming in on that Ornn. And he was able to hold it down, not needing much pressure, not calling for much help, but also just gaining or joining with the team and activating some Ornn ultimates that really threw Echo Fox off.
Yeah, his Ornn ultimates also, the Q from Ornn gets down to a 3.6 second cooldown, and it's got a 4-second duration. So he kept throwing out Qs, making a bunch of pillars in fights that are hard to track. And so he didn't need the ultimate in a lot of those fights. But powerOfEvil was massive in that game. That's one where you funnel into him, it's gonna work. That was really impressive from that team of OpTic there. First time we're seeing the funnel strategy and Super PoE beat Super Huni today.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of baiting out the fight at Baron so those members could get back. And you saw, if untouched, what powerOfEvil and Arrow were doing just in general. Absolutely crazy stuff to come out with that win. So to hear more about that matchup, let's go ahead and send it down to Avli, an OpTic's facilitator of that team comp.
Thanks, guys. Zabu team, congratulations on that victory. I mean, you just showed me you are physically shaking. How important are these early wins to you guys?
I think last split, we lost pretty much like our first 6 games. We had close games, and eventually we lost all of them, you know? So I was super stressed. I was like, will the curse last, you know? Again, we're going to make one small mistake and lose the game. This time we won. Against Echo Fox, it's like one of the hardest teams to beat, especially on this patch. So yeah, I'm super, super happy right now.
And let's talk about the team comp that you guys brought out, because this is the first funnel strat that we saw in NA. So what was the plan coming into today, and what did you think about its execution?
So we worked a lot on this, just because I think PoE is a very good player, and putting all the resources on him is not a bad idea. And we failed a lot. I think there was really hard days, and we pretty much ended up yesterday at like midnight or 1 a.m. keep working on the comp against our academy to find all the flows, watching all the LCK games about this to be able to know exactly where the win conditions are to be able to play it today. So I'm super happy that they actually pulled a super game.
And I thought it was a little bit interesting that you guys were the first ones to bring out the strat, because you have been very openly against the meta on Twitter and social media. So has your opinion changed at all after today?
I just want to show that you can nerf ADC. At the end of the day, range will always matter. So it doesn't change anything. So no, it's pretty much like Huni played incredible today. We just have the extra range to win in team fights and to kite. So it's no point to nerf ADC or anything. At the end of the day, we'll just pick the thing that have the most range, and we just play it like funnel component, and that's it.
Well, congratulations again on your victory. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. Our first funnel strats here in North America. We get 2 of them in the same game.
Split 'em up.
So my question to you guys is, who did it better?
Well, I think from a raw get this person farm perspective, I liked the fact that Huni did it with Irelia. I thought they were slightly more farm. They had a little bit more presence in the 2v2. But as Zabutin alluded to at the end there, the team composition was better for OpTic.
Yeah, pretty much the same situation for me. I think you have a lot more kill threat with that Irelia Sejuani. You get those stacks off very quickly. And you can kill people. It's especially good against no CC in the other funnel strategy. But once you stop 2v2ing, and what they did, which was very important, they started going top a lot more. That's when they finally broke away from the fact that they were losing the funnel strategy and started playing as a comp more.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that Zabutin said they practiced with their academy team all the way into the wee hours of the night to try and figure out the ways that this work, because a lot of things do change when your jungler and mid lane are essentially linked.
Right.
It means the side lanes don't really get that many ganks, which changes the picks you can actually put in those lanes. Karthus is normally a pick that gets absolutely obliterated by ganks, but because the jungle proximity is naturally going to be so low in that lane, it's now more of a viable pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing to point out. You see Fenix 2.1%. Allorim got more at the end of the game, or like towards the second half,
minutes,
of the laning phase where they started killing Fenix. But generally, these funnel strats do not hit anywhere close to the average of 9% to hop proximity. That goes way down when you do this. And so if you're an isolated laning phase, any ranged champion that would normally be exploited by ganks, not going to have as much of a problem. So it is something that worked for Echo Fox for a little bit, and then it quickly fell off once the other team realized that.
Yeah, and with all the complexities of the funnel strategies and the fact these are the first 2 we saw in North America, at a certain point, you're still grouping and fighting. And it's still the execution of those fights. Yes, you have 2 carries that are about 50% stronger than they normally would have been, but Echo Fox flubbed the execution when they were trying to take this turret.
It's a risky dive to go for no matter what, but importantly, Vladimir can come in here, go for the flank, drop his ult, go for the big combo, but Altec, not familiar on the champion, completely flubs it. Doesn't get onto PoE at all, doesn't get onto Akaadian, doesn't get onto anyone. Doesn't ult, runs away after doing nothing, and then this Phoenix ultimate, look how low people are. Akaadian almost dead, powerOfEvil almost dead, Big almost dead. If you have a competent Vladimir player going in there, flank, drop your Spellbinder, which was charged, and finish somebody off, or at least get them low enough for the Karthus ult to finish them off, you might be able to come back and win the game, or get a lead, but that put them way behind. They actually lost a Baron later off of that.
Right, could have been an easy turret take and or maybe a 3-0 in their favor if executed on properly, but I think something that plays into that, and something I want to talk about as we roll the final moments here, or the final fight of the game, is the idea that Echo Fox chooses a gold funneling strategy while also role swapping, whereas OpTic stays with their typical roles and lane assignments and therefore shows better mastery of the champions that they're piloting overall. We've got Altec, who makes the flub on the Vladimir. Well, there's no opportunity to flub on a champion I'm not used to playing on the side of OpTic.
Yeah, absolutely. That comfort kind of comes in over the course of this game. And here, this turn attempt didn't really have the tools to work. They already blew so much in the previous fight that powerOfEvil comes back in and is able to finish everyone off now that so many of their engaged tools are down. And this is really what kind of cost them the game, because their map position is so much worse from all the other fights that went wrong. The inhibitor turrets are already broken. If this was an even game, or a game that Echo Fox was winning and you make that mistake, you know, whatever, they take Baron and you continue the fight. But that's the end of the game. Yeah,
definitely a little bit of desperation coming in at the end. You can see the damage is indicative of the team compositions that were being played. The 54,000 damage on the Kai'Sa. I feel like half of that was the 700 AP W poke. But overall, congratulations to OpTic for pulling out something new and beating the team that we thought was going to always win these crazy games.
Right, exactly. This was the meta built for Huni. He claimed it himself here in week 1. Does suffer a loss on
He looked real good. He had some Irelia plays where, like, he should back out, comes out of a GA and just keeps flashing in and finds kills. And you're like, all right, this guy probably wasn't the issue with this game.
OpTic picks up the victory. Coming up next is 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest, where Phreak, Solo, and Apollo will be hosting the NALCS Lounge on Riot Games 2. Check it out.